Hi, this is BSA RISQUARD Huntsman. This is a 2v1 on Spanish Lakeside. I come up with this idea when I was watching an old replay. Whilst I was watching the replay, I was looking at the layout of the map and thought this could work. I mean, obviously I couldn't push out and and do an attack two armies because it just wouldn't work. So I thought of finding a good defensive position. Basically, at the start there, we see all the lights out. His lights were. I wasn't expecting my lights to just get destroyed as easily as what they did. I mean, I've got 10 light units firing on me, but I expected them to last a little bit longer. I managed to. I hid that cav unit over the other side of the map, and I managed to sneak it right around their armies in between those two cav, and attack those lights with it. I probably could have used it better, but that's what I ended up doing. So just a lesson not to do it again if I ever do play this again. Right, so moving my. He's routed 3 of my volts so far, and a line unit, I believe. So I'm pushing out to my lights and that. He's routed another light unit, and he's going to route that other light unit as well, and he's going to route that line unit as well. And I'm thinking, oh my god, this ain't going to work. And I was almost, I mean, like, to be honest, I was almost tempted just to sort of quit and think, right, sorry lads, this this isn't going to work at all. It was a bad idea. But I sort of thought, well, no, I can't do that. I don't like quitting games anyway, and I don't quit games as a rule. So I pressed on. I did have 2 light units that came back from routing, and some of the line that they routed came back as well. But I mean, his lights by this stage have used up quite a lot of ammo as well. I mean, I have got some left, but they've used a lot. I just thought, I mean, I was so sort of desperate for ideas at this stage to try and deal with those lights firing. You know, I was just trying everything, so I charged out a line unit into, see if I could get it to go into melee with them, and it wouldn't get anywhere near them. My guys were getting scared really quickly, and I was just really stuck. So I sort of pulled back up into sort of, I don't know, little alley bit there, I don't know how to describe it, and tried to force his lights to come forward a bit more. I mean, that's the first unit I've routed now, and I thought I tried to force them up so I could get them rifles and that in range of my lights and my lines, so I could get some fire on them. But he just kept pulling back with them. I mean, my light infantry now is gone, so I'm a bit. I mean, he's outranging me, but those, as I said before, their light units have used a lot of bullets. I mean, the idea I took for doing this was kind of I was thinking along the lines of Leonidas and the 300 style defence, and see if it worked. But I mean, I took some casualties. Right, so here he's pushing in his line. I think it's because their light infantry were actually starting to run low on bullets now. I mean, that's all my French dead there, you know. I mean, they're taking a right pounding. So he's charged 3 line units in, and I mean, up in these sort of little gully bits. I mean, the numbers count. Their numbers count for a lot less. So once now he's started putting his line infantry to melee me, and this is where I can start taking advantage of the situation from my situation, and press my advantage on them. It was a bit silly. Both of these guys, they both charged their generals. I mean, because I staked up the bottom of that, at the opening in the mouth of that area, and they both run their general straight through it. Right, so this stage now, France and Britain have gone into a full melee attack, and I'm like throwing 1-2 units down to hold them off. I've got units behind firing into the big crowd. They're basically, at the moment, whilst all this is going on, they're cav units. I mean, they've got some good cav as well. He's got Empress Dragoons there, he's coming in, a Polish Lancer. Britain had a Horse Guard and a Guard Dragoon unit. They didn't throw their lights in. I think they may have had some lights, but his light infantry now is basically useless, because if he tries firing at me, he's going to be shooting his own men in the back, so he's more than welcome to do that. So the cav's going to be coming in now. I mean, my men held up amazingly, considering like all the men that they were fighting against. And I mean, like, Britain had old foot guards, King Legion, Highland Foots. He had a Black Watch as well. I mean, he's got his horse guards and everything coming in as well. So I mean, France had a couple of units of old guards, some upgraded Fusilier line, Polish. I think pretty sure had a young guard as well. So I mean, he's got some good, and Dutch Grenadiers. There was a Dutch Grenadiers in there. So he's got. I mean, they've got some good guard units in there, and they're going to fight hard. I mean, and I was pretty impressed with like how some of like my Swiss foot, and my sort of lower graded line units held up in melee against these guys. So I mean, it was a bit touch and go, to be fair. I mean, I really didn't know what was going to happen. I honestly thought, I mean, like, when he was clearing all my lighting and routing my units at the start, it wouldn't even go this far. But they're trying to push up past my units and attack the units behind. I formed square with an old guard to try and help block off the area behind if he was like trying to get his charge his cav through and push them past. I mean, I think I've got an old Guard of Brave and a Polish in there, but at the moment that's my Guard Seaman there. I think there's going into melee with an old Guard. He's the old Guard there, you can see. And those Guard of Seamen, they're pretty tough, they are. And everyone knows that old Guard are. So look at all those dead bodies. So I mean, I'm not. It's not the most exciting video to watch, but I thought, well, it's 2v1. It's still a bit of an achievement, so let's post it. It's still an achievement to like get this far, I think. I mean, those boys, they're fighting uphill now as well, like on a bit more of a steeper part of the slope, so they're going to be getting pretty tired. I'm saving like one of my old Guard for at the back there, because I want to save their ammo and try and keep them full. But I think I may have started to get them firing. The way I've sort of got them positioned, the old Guard behind the young Guard there. They're I had it sort of positioned so they're firing over their head, so they're on a slightly higher part of the ground. Their men are like really starting to get tired and like starting to clear the cav, clear some of the French units. Because they chased run their generals, both of them run their generals straight across stakes. They've lost their generals now, so they've got that sort of penalty going against them as well. So the French line units now have all been routed away. Got an old Guard there which got a serious amount of starting to get accrue some good chevrons on there. Those two units at Britain there that is left were foot guards. So I think he's realised what's going to happen, so he's trying to pull back and maybe get some use out of his line. The line units that have come back from routing and whatever bullets is rifles, and the Voltigeurs I've got left. Right, I'll run my young guards down and just get that firing into the units down the bottom there, and my melee units are old guard and guarded seamen. I charge them into melee, the light infantry. He's got a foot. I mean, he does have a couple of foot guards, I believe, come back from routing, but I mean they're quite heavily depleted anyway. But see there, what I didn't see is I don't know how, but he planted stakes behind my stakes as they were like sort of meleeing up the hill. He had planted stakes, and I didn't know that he'd planted stakes up there. So basically, when I got them on the back foot there, you'll see here I go, well not here, but in a little while I'll charge my general down, and because I didn't know that they'd laid stakes, I kill my general on the stakes as well. So I've basically done exactly the same thing they did, but the difference between me and them is they knew that they were stakes at the bottom, at the mouth of that little gully bit there, but I didn't know they'd laid stakes in like the big melee blob. I just didn't know they'd laid stakes. So I'm like, got my young guard over there, they're firing away. My melee units, they're about to finish routing, had routed, so I run my young guard into the light infantry as well to get that routed away. And they actually, to be fair, the light infantry actually did a pretty good job against my young guard, and ended up getting pretty badly depleted. So I mean, the other unit that's firing is my old guard. So basically, all I've got left now is a depleted young guard and sort of near full old guard. I've routed the foot guard units that he was trying to pull away. I'm just about to rout those two rifle units, which he'd run back, and he was sort of cutting back to get back up on the hill, but I was able to get in range from the position that he got himself in. I mean, with my old guard, they can lay down some pretty accurate fire. Right, we're just coming into the end of the battle now, routing the last unit. Get my old guard into melee with their bolts, and not going to last too long. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment and subscribe. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. I mean, I know it's not the most exciting video that's up on the internet, but I thought it was worth posting. It was just a bit of fun, and I should have some more videos up again soon, and thank you for watching.